This ain't advice. I'm not your advisor. And as they say in the biz, slap that subscribe button. We're only about 100,000 away from 1,000,000. We're almost there. Welcome to another episode of Buck Talk. Let's get into today's question. People always say that after a certain point, it's not worth putting in overtime anymore because of the higher tax bracket you're put in. Is this true? I can answer this without reading it, so the answer is probably no. No, it's probably not true. It's probably mostly based on a misunderstanding that a lot of people have. But we'll read the question, and it's not that they're totally wrong about how the taxes work. You're a registered nurse in New York, and you're trying to work as many overtime shifts as you can because your hospital's giving double time plus incentive pay. A lot of nurses discourage it, saying it's not worth it because then you get taxed too much. Some saying it's only worth doing 1 or 2 shifts, but anymore it becomes disadvantageous. How do tax brackets work? Are you taxed per paycheck? You should have 48 hours of double time pay this period, which come out to 90 something an hour, in addition to 75 hours of regular pay. How much can you expect to get taxed? All right, so there's 2 things that are going to be at play here. One is going to be what's withheld from your paychecks, and that's going to depend on the software that your payroll company uses. That doesn't have any actual bearing on what you owe in taxes when it comes time to file them April of next year. So it's really important that you understand that. But that system, and a lot of systems, might look and say, if you worked every single week or 2-week period at this rate, how much would need to be withheld for you to be withholding the appropriate amount of taxes? And that's going to be a pretty high amount. It's going to be so high that some people might look at it and say, hey, I'm barely getting any more money for this. Now, your actual taxes, they just look at all the money you earned over a year and we apply the tax brackets to it. And a simple explanation of the way that works is there's a tax bracket for 10%, and I'll just make up some numbers to simplify things. Let's say you made $100,000, and let's say I'm going to make up where the tax brackets go. Let's pretend the federal tax bracket is 10% from $0 to $25,000. Well, on your first $25,000 of income, you're going to pay 10% federal taxes. Then let's pretend it's 20% taxes on the next bracket, and it's also $25,000. So from $25,000 to $50,000, you would pay 20% federal taxes, but just on that money. It doesn't move up the tax rate on that first $25,000 that you earned. Keep our example going. Say the tax rate's 30% from $50,000 to $75,000. On that $25,000, you guessed it, you pay 30%, but it does not bump up those earlier 10 and 20% brackets. That's not how it works. And the last one, probably overkill here, but from $75,000 to $100,000, maybe the tax rate is 40%. Federal taxes don't actually go up to 40% anymore, but for the sake of the example, let's say they do, you'd be paying 40% taxes on the dollars from $75,000 to $100,000. Again, the important thing to understand here is it does not affect your other tax bracket payments. It does not affect dollars 1 through $75,000 that you earned. It's only those new ones that you're paying higher tax rate on. But that payroll software, it might be looking at how much you're earning for this 1-2 week period, and it might say, hey, that's a really high number. We got to withhold 50%. And for somebody in New York, it might be close to 50% that they're withholding. Your normal withholding rate might be like 30% or 35%. And that's probably why your coworkers are saying it's not worth it. There's definitely a higher tax rate that you're going to pay as you earn more money. So that's true. They're not wrong. But I think there's a fundamental misunderstanding that they have about the way that actually works. So I would say work what you want to work, but you're probably going to get to keep more than what your paycheck shows when you end up filing your tax returns at the end of the year. I hope that helps. Thank you very much for working overtime in this time. I know everyone appreciates it. Good luck.